evening, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's 2 minutes past 8. It's slightly later than normal, but it is the Next Generation review show with myself, Montalban, and tonight's co-host, Mazza McBob.
Hi, everybody.
Hiya, Maz. How you doing? I see we still have a G-Star. He's in chat.
Yeah.
Have you come with questions, G?
Yeah, G. Where's your questions?
Where's your questions? Hang on a sec. Yeah, that's better.
Montalban's like, where are my questions?
Where are my questions? Have I got questions?
And let's find them.
Yes, I have got questions. I've just realised I'm missing one question.
Oh. Challenge for chat. Come up with a question.
Come up with a question. Yeah. Okay. Yes, so it is Wednesday. It is the Next Generation review show. We are here for the last one for a few weeks before we go take some summer breaks. We're here with another Star Trek Next Generation episode. And this episode tonight is the Season 2 episode, Pen Pals, which I remembered as being boring and wasn't looking forward to it. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see. And as well as my co-host, I am joined this evening in chat by G-Star. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic time in London or whatever exotic environment you find yourself in, G. And we have Stuplum. Good evening to you, sir.
Yes, and congratulations, G, on finishing your isolation and getting back out into the world again. Woo!
Yes.
It's like freedom. You've got like Freedom Day, but 2 days late.
Does everybody find it's now all different? Now we've had Freedom Day? No.
I haven't left my house.
No, neither.
4 or 5 days, so
I did.
Makes a little difference to me.
I did go to Tesco's and I still wore a mask.
Oh, I will still be wearing a mask in public places. Even ones where you didn't have to before, like in a cinema. I went to the cinema and I was like, I'm not going to sit in a place with strangers for like 2-3 hours without protecting myself. Like,
No.
why wouldn't I?
Why would you?
And everybody's like, oh, you don't have to wear a mask. And I'm like, of course, I know I don't have to wear a mask right now.
Yeah.
But if I choose to, that's my choice. Like,
Exactly.
Don't mask shame me.
Exactly. Mickey's just arriving home from probably being at the gym. As his Wednesday his Wednesday routine. And Joel, we've got Joel on this evening. It's great to see you back, Joel. It's always good to have you on with your massive Star Trek brain.
Mr. Factoid.
I should have made the questions harder. Hang on, let me just go make some more questions.
To be fair, like Joel's just generally knowledgeable about facts in the world, but Mickey is like, it's crazy how many notes he takes and how he can answer every question.
Yeah.
I mean, he's won like every quiz week after week. I kind of, I want to see Kazdi Kundo come back actually, because he was, consummate at answering all the quizzes. I reckon if we can get him back on, he might give Mickey a run for his money. I've actually got a bit of a call with him on Friday. I might throw the gauntlet down and say, we found somebody who's better than you, Kazdi Kundo. Come back on and prove us wrong.
Throw that gauntlet down,
I think I will.
That's right.
Mickey, I'm going to try and find a competitor for you.
Yeah, we got to find someone to really give Mickey a good challenge. Yeah.
I mean, you've already won this season, basically. You're like Lewis Hamilton in previous F1 series, where you're so far in front, nobody can catch you. But it'd still be good to give you a run for your money on a week-by-week basis.
Right. Because we have no G-Star this evening, and because I'm a lazy goit, I have just done...
Goit, what a great word. That's a Red Dwarfism, isn't it?
That is a Red
Goit
Dwarfism.
and Gimboid.
Gimboid, yeah. Goit.
Excellent.
Yes, because I'm a lazy Gimboid. I've not done multiple choice questions. I've just done, I don't know, a question for each act. So at the end of each
That'll make
act,
it
we'll just have
harder.
a question, and sometimes they are a reference to the actor that we've just listened to or watched, and sometimes it's just something random that I've just decided to ask. So yeah, good luck, everyone.
Excellent. How many are there?
Well, there's what, 5 acts and a teaser, so that's 6 questions in total.
And do you do the same grading system as G-Star, or are they all like a set number of points? Or will you just make it up as you go along? Make it up as you go along.
Should we just make
That's
it up?
what I vote for.
Can you do me a favor though, Maz? Can you keep score?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I have pen, I have paper. We'll travel. Right.
I thought you were going to say, I
Absolutely,
got
I
a pen,
can.
I have an apple. Apple pen.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I do have though. I just want to share this for the viewers just because they're so pretty.
Oh, is this mine? This is mine.
Yeah, this is yours. Look what I made. Ah, Rainbowlicious.
It's my LGBT vodka.
So I don't know if anybody's heard of Skittles vodka, but Monty Ban introduced me to what they called Sweet Heat, which is the spicy Skittles. So they're Skittles that have got like a bit of chili or cayenne in them, and you have one, you just think, oh, it's a normal sweet. You have 2, you're like, oh, there's a bit of warmth. Then you have 3 or 4, and you're like, oh, the warmth is spreading. And I was like, wow, these would be amazing as Skittles vodka, because it would be like chili Skittles vodka. So I have now made these, and I'll be dropping them off to Monty Ban in a couple of days' time. Hopefully next time we're on, he'll be able to say how nice they were or how disgusting they were. Who knows?
Might have to have a taste test.
They certainly look pretty.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you very much, Maz, for doing that.
No worries. You bought them for me. You bought the Skittles. You provided me with the ingredients.
I've just seen a picture of Mickey. He's just sent a picture through. He's a little overheating from being at the gym, I think, and he's quite warm in his room.
Is he very, very wet?
He's a bit wet.
Ah, yeah, bless him.
To be honest, I'm starting to feel that way in this uniform.
Yeah, we did have a discussion, didn't we? Whether to wear or not to wear.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, just before we went on air, I was told that my fan was causing issues with my mic, so I now have no fan.
Yeah, sorry about that. Apologies.
It's no problem. It's no problem.
Anyway, because we're all melting, let's get on with the episode, shall we?
Yep.
So yes, pen pals. The Enterprise is the first starship to study the Drama sector, where high levels of geological activity has been recorded on all 5 planets. Planets in that solar system. Data reports that at some point in the last 150 years, the 5th planet has actually completely shattered, forming an asteroid belt. Worf questions whether this was done by an intelligence, but Riker brushes him off and says it's actually only geology. These planets live fast and die hard, but I wonder why. Troy's heading to the holodeck with Picard, and she's going to watch him ride horses. Apparently, he doesn't like small animals, but horses are a different matter.
Did you notice the continuity issue when they were going to the horse?
I did not.
So I don't know if it's too early, but when they were stood outside the holodeck.
They're probably saying share pictures or something, don't they?
Oh, yeah, share pictures.
Share pictures.
No, G-Star saying, like this stream. Nobody's saying share pictures. Nobody's paying attention.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Thank you, G-Star. Like, please
yeah,
like
it. I've already liked it, which is shocking. I seem to be getting better at that. I normally don't remember until somebody reminds me, but I did again.
Well done. That's very good.
I know. I'm so good. I thought I'm just going to bring up the fandom pictures so I can try and prompt you with when to prod them on. But yeah, the continuity thing was they're outside of the holodeck, and They look in, and you can see the beautiful horse standing there, right? Fully tacked up with its saddle and everything. And then they go in, and like the saddle's on the side, and the horse has no tack. And then and Picard has to tack him up himself.
That's funny, because I played that a couple of times because I was sure there was something not quite right with that scene, but I couldn't think what it was. And I actually said when I watched it with Smiler, I was like, why didn't he just program it all to be ready? Why go through all the hassle of... Anyway, yeah. All right. Well, that's the first continuity. Have we got many continuity things like that in this episode?
No, there's only a couple. Two continuity errors. Yeah.
Yeah, we probably got probably on the first picture here. So this is him sort of preparing the horse. Yeah. So they get to the holodeck, and he asks the holodeck to program a woodland setting with a mount, and the computer suggests some different types of mounts, including a Klingon targ, which is interesting. But Picard's like, no, horse, Arabian. And then goes on to tell us the story that the Arabs believed that Allah gathered the south winds to create the horse, and Deanna thinks that that's poetic because now, with the invention of the holodecks, that's kind of come true. And Picard was like, I like that. That's quite nice. I was going to actually... I've now gone on a complete tangent. Why would the computer give a Klingon targ as a... Do you remember the last time we saw, or probably the first time we saw a Klingon targ in this series? It appeared on the bridge with Q, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, let's open that in another... Bear with me a moment, sorry. Let's share that a minute. Sorry, I've gone off script now. This is never good when I go off script, is it?
And here I thought this episode would be much quicker without G.
That's the wrong one. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. That one. There we go. No, it's still the wrong... Oh, I don't care. Whatever. I mean, look how the size of the thing. It's like a pig in...
How would you mount it?
How is Picard ever going to mount that? He'd squash it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay.
That's I like that because that's quite that's definitely like an error, a plot error. Would you call that?
I guess so.
I think that's a plot error.
I think they were thinking maybe they were a lot bigger than they thought. But anyway.
I like that you found that though.
Yeah, there we go.
We don't have that many goofs.
Yeah. Yes. So Troy thinks that maybe what Picard's looking for in an animal is not a pet, but a companion. And Picard agrees that sometimes animals can fill a space inside someone's life that they didn't even know was empty. Troy says that her mother and her pet kitten reacted badly to one another when she was little. So I think they probably got rid of that cat. But you can quite imagine what it was like in Troy's family when they got a kitten. Troy's mum and the kitten reacting badly together. That, you can just picture what that looked like.
Definitely poor kitten.
Yes.
But also in Troy's way, she's saying, Captain, I think you're lonely.
Yes.
Which is quite a sweet sort of sentiment, I guess, in subtext.
Yeah. I've just realised we don't have Smiler on, do we? I think she's doing some work at the moment, but yeah, oh my gosh. But we've got another wrench in chat anyway. We've got G-Star, so
that's true.
we still have a wrench in stream, so we're still core it or whatever. Yes. Troy says that. You're,
I'm in the house.
Smiler's here. Hello, Smiler. Smiler's on her way, people. It's all right. Yeah. It really.
Not that we don't appreciate you, G.
No, that's right. Yeah.
But he's no Smiler.
I will say, I wasn't maybe not going to mention it, but since we're talking about animals filling people's lives,
Oh, yeah.
I will say that we've got an announcement. We've decided we're going to be getting a dog. So, yes, we're going to be getting a Cocker Spaniel.
You call him Montyvan?
No, I'm not going to call him. No, it was one of the suggestions.
Votes in chat for what you should call
Yeah,
it.
please give us
Or
some
have you already
ideas.
decided?
Well, Monty was one of the names.
Dog naming.
But I thought, with me being called Monty, and Monty would be a bit complicated. I wouldn't know who people were talking about. Oh, that Monty, he's so cute. And I'll be like, oh, I am cute. But, of course, they wouldn't be talking about me, would they? But, yeah. So. Does anybody want to see a picture, if they want to name him? Do you want to see a picture of what he potentially looks like at the moment? Bearing in mind, he's only about a week old. So, hang on a minute. I'll have to share my screen again. There you go.
Puppies. Puppies are so cute.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
That's at the moment.
Darling.
Yeah. Very, very tiny.
Monty
at the moment.
Jr.
Monty Jr.
MJ.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So, right.
Super cute. Will that be his colour or will it go like darker? Or?
No, he's a lemon, what they call a lemon Cocker Spaniel. So he will be a light coloured one.
No, totes adorbs.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's know in chat. Got any good names?
Yeah, Mickey says, class wee pup. You sound more, Glaswegian than Irish there.
Yeah. I suppose we is like a Scottish thing.
G-Star says you should call him Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc. That's the point. Where's Karen?
I better text her, hadn't I?
We're talking about Jean-Luc here, and we've had him up on the screen the whole time. No Karen to idol her idol.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you know all of my messages to Karen are like TNG review. Bless.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh, have you seen Steve Plums? He says call him Worf, like woof, 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 woof.
Well, I'll tell you my favourite at the moment. I quite like Chewie.
Oh.
But
Chewbacca.
That's not set in stone, but that's one that I quite like at the moment.
It's good one.
Yeah, I quite like. Yeah.
Does that mean we get to call him a hairy walking carpet?
Yeah. I've lost where I was. It's all wrapped up in dog talk. And Karen's
just
here.
finished work.
Oh,
so she'll be coming on in a minute. You might have to show her the puppy again later.
I'd say you missed the talk of spaniels, and being a big spaniel fan, she would be sad she missed that one.
Yeah, you need to wait until she's on in order to tell her what she missed.
Yes, right. Oh yeah, you can't hear me, can you? No.
She can't now.
No. Oh gosh.
Let's march on and catch her up on the Spanish
Okay, marching on. Okay, so yes, so we said he's not looking for a pet, he's looking for a companion. It fills that gap inside him, blah blah blah. Troy says that she doesn't take up these types of activities because betazoids get carried away with the emotions of the beast. But Picard thinks that the emotions inside this beast, pointing at himself, would have thought would have been more terrifying to her. And both Smiler and I, both Smiler and I looked at each other and were like, Did Picard just refer to himself as a beast?
And a horse at that.
Yeah. Okay. What a stallion. What a stallion. Yeah. Karen, you just missed our announcement. We're getting a spaniel.
And he showed pictures and he asked for names, but you missed it all. Like I'm shouting at my phone as if she can hear my text. No, you can hear me on YouTube.
So before he could mount it, though, Riker calls in, telling him he's needed on the bridge for something spectacular and terrifying. Picard takes the time to tie the horse back up, and then goes.
Even though it's a hollow horse.
Yeah, you don't go computer save program. No, I know it's urgent, and I've just been called to the bridge, but I'll just spend time tying this thing up. And then goes and gets changed on the way to the bridge, because when he actually arrives in the bridge, he's back in uniform again. So he didn't exactly rush himself.
Did not. Did you know that this? Well, no, you wouldn't probably know, but anyway, this sequence was filmed at a ranch near the LA suburb of Thousand Oaks. So yeah, they went to some sort of little local near LA. So I guess sort of just off Hollywood sort of thing, to film this. I bet that was a nice little day trip.
Yeah. Yeah, the one we're going for, Karen, is a boy. It's a lemon Cocker Spaniel.
Did you see her previous messages? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, yeah.
She's so excited.
I made the announcement before checking that Karen was on.
I know. Sorry about that, Kaz.
Yeah. He's still tiny, so it's not going to be for quite some time yet.
Pictures. We did pictures, but we'll show you more pictures later.
I'll show you a picture later. Yeah, I'll show you a picture later. Yes.
Joel points out that there's a beast in all of us as humans. That is true, to be fair.
There is.
Like some of us are one swing closer to the tree than others, but yeah, that's where we all came from.
Yeah. On the bridge, Riker shows Picard the view of a molten fiery world that when the last probe visited reported that it had a rich ecosystem. Now there is nothing. Dun, 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 dun. That was the end of the teaser. So we got our first question.
Ooh.
Our first question is, very simply, what is the name of the system that the Enterprise is investigating? I'm not worried about exact spelling as long as it phonetically sounds right. But what's the name of the system that the Enterprise is investigating? No multiple choice tonight. That is just your question.
Karen suggests Worf as a name.
Yeah.
That's like popular choice.
Stuplum.
Stuplum also suggested Worf.
So we've had Jean-Luc and we've had Worf.
And Monty Jr.
Oh, Monty Jr. Yes, Monty Jr. Yeah. All good names. So whilst answers are coming in for that one, you'll have to see if you can spot them in chat. Thank you, Smiler, for repeating it. I'll carry on with Act 1. So Act 1. The senior staff are gathered in the observation lounge and discussing to give Wes a new role of being in charge of the planetary minerals survey. After some backwards and forwards in debate, Picard compares Wes to a fine sword who will require a fine edge that doesn't dull at the first sign of resistance. I thought that was a good analogy, a good little speech.
Yeah, I mean, they started with like tempering the metal beforehand in terms of how they treat them as well. It was a really good analogy. And even before that, they were talking about horse analogies and putting too much weight on a young colt's back. It was just basically a very analogy-rich debate.
Yeah, it was. I just did the last one because I couldn't be bothered to write it all down.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. Thank you for the extra information. That's good. Crusher gets summoned to the observation lounge and is told of his new command, to which he's really pleased. Picard reminds him to make use of the command crew, that they're not there to judge. They're just there for him to seek advice from. And so Riker dismisses him to go form his team. On the bridge, Data is making a mess of the comms. He's scanning frequencies that are usually out of range for a personal project. Worf trips over the mess, and Data tells him he will be removing it to his quarters. I thought Worf's a bit presumptuous at that point.
Yeah, I mean, this is listed as a bit of a character error, actually, because, I mean, he basically says, what you're doing, is this part of your regular duties? I mean, is that the way anybody to address their senior officer?
Yeah, Data is Worf's commanding officer. So
Yeah,
like,
and he basically talks to him like he's an upstart ensign that he can boss around. It's completely out of order for a subordinate officer to talk to him that way.
Yeah.
Character error.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's one of those little notes, isn't it? In the corridor, Wes catches up with Riker and Troy and goes over his staff choices. He's concerned about picking people that are older than him and how he's going to deal with conflict within the team. And they basically tell him he'll figure it out. But he comes away with it having the understanding that as well as leading, he'll probably have to be a counselor as well. And that's a part of being a team leader. And it
I love the way at the end he goes, oh, thanks. But it like totally sounds like he doesn't mean it. Like that was no use at all.
No, that's right. Yeah. We all got all the answers in.
I mean, the thing is with our multiple choices, if you don't know, like, what do? Just type in gobbledygook. So we won't know if everybody's answered.
It is Salkundi Drema. Stuplum, Mickey, Karen have all got the right answer there. So they all get a point.
Nice.
Or, no, what should we say? 50 points. You'll get 50 points. How many does G give now?
Normally to start with, it's 25.
No,
so
I'm giving 50. Hell,
you want to outdo him, that's perfect.
Yeah. He gives 25. I'm giving twice the number. Right.
Cool.
Yeah. So congratulations, all three of you. You've done well with the points this evening already. You're doing better than you normally would do at this stage. And we've got to the end of Act 1. So no, there's the
another question.
Act 1 question. It's question time.
Time.
This is a random question for me, just because we spent some time here in the episode with Data and Worf, but in the consoles across the back of the bridge, how many individual consoles are there across the back of the Enterprise D bridge?
Whole bridge.
Across the bridge. Now, I'll give you a clue that the far right one is engineering now, so that's one. There's at least one there. How many are there individual sections?
That's whole sections, like floor to ceiling, those sort of sections.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They're kind of, because it's not like a curve. They're kind of in sections with overbit and each one has a chair built in underneath. So there's that number of chairs across them as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, G-Star.
Anyway,
I didn't give you the full points in that last one because you didn't get the Drema bit, which was the important part.
Oh, poor G-Star.
Yeah, poor G-Star.
554 so far on the answers. But let's continue with Act 2.
Act 2. Wesley meets with Ensign Davies, who he's chosen as his geochemist in his team. Davies asks him who else he's on the team, but he doesn't agree with Wesley's choices. He says it's a shame you didn't consult with me before you picked your team.
Oh, pictures. Perfect time for pictures.
Yes, good idea. There you go. Oh, yes, he's perfect time. Look, there he is meeting Davies. He looks like he's got a goatee from that angle. It looks like he's got like a strange ball-like goatee on his chin. Because he likes to break up married couples, and Wesley chose Alan and Hildebrand, who are both, they're married to each other. So Wesley left, thinking he'd made a big mistake. Data in his quarters is looking into the patterns and the signals, and he has picked up. Something just fell off my shelf. Oh my gosh!
Your sound pads.
My studio started falling apart midstream.
They used to do that all the time, but they haven't done that for a very long time.
I think it must be the heat.
Oh, that's a good point. It's like melt the glue and stuff.
They haven't fallen off since I put them up there, like back at Christmas time or something.
Whew.
There we go. Anyway.
Let's just continue as your world is crashing around you.
As my studio's falling apart, let's just continue. Data's in studying signals. It's like magic. What does it do? Yeah, signal patterns, pick it up. He's isolating one of the signals. When the computer enhances it, it turns out to be a voice of a little girl. And she's asking, is there anyone out there? And to which Data responds, yes.
Mistake.
Yeah. Wes is nervous about meeting the whole team for the first time, so he's kind of shuffling his feet outside the door to the lab. When the doctor stops by and she gives him a pep talk and tells him he'll be just fine. And I assume that works because he goes in. We were half expecting the doctor to just walk by, have a quick talk with Wes, and then as she's talking to him in the middle of a sentence, just hit the open door button and just push him in and then the close button and then just carry on walking down the corridor. But she doesn't. She is more tactful than that. So that's good.
And apparently, I didn't notice it myself, but apparently there is a boom mic that hovers just above while she's talking to him before he goes to meet his team.
Oh, I did not spot that.
I didn't spot it either. I mean, I should have been looking more closely, but I was watching it in a slight rush.
Should we go? We got all the answers in? I think we got all the answers in. So we've got G-Star on 5, Karen on 5, Mickey on 4, and Stuplum on 4. So 2 5s and 2 4s. So potentially either 2 people have got it right or nobody's got it right because it's 6 or 3. What do you think, Maz? What are you going with?
I'll go 6.
6. The right answer is 5. Yeah.
Oh, nicely done.
G-Star got it right.
Aaron and G-Star.
How many points does he normally give at this point?
Well, you've got 6 questions. This would probably also be a 25.
We'll also make it 50.
And it'd probably be, then next would be a 50 and a 50, and then the end one would be 100, see?
Or shall I just go up 50 every time and make this 100?
Up to you. Dealer's choice, babe. Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice. Yeah, let's make this 100. Let's make this 100. This is 100. You got 100 points. Yeah, I'm just going crazy. So I don't know what that does to the scoreboard, but you can probably tell me. But G-Star's got 100 and Karen's got 100.
Pause for me there for a second there.
Oh yeah, that was my internet.
You paused for a second there, and there was a little whirly roundy thing for a sec there.
Oh no. Yeah. What? How many points are you on? People on now, Maz?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping score, aren't I?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll tell you in a sec. So Karen's 100. I'll tell you in a minute.
G's 100. We're a slick operation tonight. I'll tell you.
I know. We're a man down. We're a man down. What can I tell you? And it was all 3 other than G, wasn't it? Stu, Mickey, 25. So, no, 50, wasn't it? 50, and 50. So we got Mickey on 50 points. We got Mickey and Stuplum on 50 points, I believe.
Cool.
And then we've got G-Star on 100 points. And we have Karen, on 150 points.
Yay. Well done.
Sorry. I totally dropped the ball there. I'm on it now, though. I'm
Yeah.
on it like
You're
a
on
car
it. You're on
bonnet.
it like a car bonnet. Okay, cool. Great stuff. So we come to 6 weeks later. They've been studying the sector for 6 weeks, and in the lab they're looking at the results, and Wesley wants to run an icospectrogram. The team think that it'll be a waste of time because it'll take at least 5 hours to set up, and it'll be a lot of wasted effort. It's falling apart again. It's just falling down again. I think just leave it this time. It's just supposed to be off the wall. It's just it wants to give in. Yes. So the team think it's going to be a waste of time. Davies tells him it is a mark of a good officer to tell the difference between being thorough and just wasting time. So with that advice, Wes backs down. Data goes to see Picard, who is riding horses again in the holodeck. I don't know whether we need to swap pictures yet.
The next picture is, when they're discussing stuff in the ready room.
Yeah, so he visits Picard riding horses in the holodeck again. So we can see actually Picard riding the horse this time to show that he wasn't just bragging. He can actually do it. He starts off by remarking that Picard has an excellent steed, and then goes on to tell him about the communication he's been having with Sarjenka, a member of a pre-warp species. The data confirms that he has kept his location obscure because he realizes he's breaking the Prime Directive. But she has referenced that show her planet is under the same geological stresses as the other worlds in this system. Picard agrees to hold a conference in his quarters with his senior staff, but orders Data to stop communication with the girl. Yes, you may catch up still, Joel, because I'm just giving away points like crazy. We've just
we're up to 100 points per question already, and he's going to go higher.
And we've just screamed through Act 2, so it's question time.
Another question time.
Yeah, for 150 points. What is the names of the husband and wife geology team?
Ooh, you did say it earlier, didn't you?
So
people paying attention.
2 first names. I think they're first names. It's the only thing they call them. The 2 geologists, the husband and wife that Wesley chooses for his team. What are
Mickey will have written
names?
this down for sure. If anybody else knows this, I'd be surprised, but impressed.
I'm sorry, Joel. It was 5. The answer was 5.
Good guess, though.
Good guess. Yeah, it was a good guess. Very, very close.
And just to remind people, the Prime Directive, right?
Yes, the Prime Directive.
Do we all remember what that is? It's a hard rule of non-interference with less developed cultures.
That sounds very hard.
Let's just remember that.
It doesn't sound flaky at all.
It's not flaky at all.
No.
Just saying.
Just saying. No interference at all.
Just saying to set us up for like the next bit, the debate.
So Act 3. In 10 Forward, Riker is working on his next conquest when Wes arrives and ruins his fun. He asks Will for some advice on the icospectrogram issue. He's worried his judgment is wrong, but Riker tells him that he needs to trust his own judgment if he wants to be in command. And always ask yourself, what would Picard do? I.e., but what Picard does is hold a conference, seek everyone's advice, and then make his own judgment based on what they told him. So where's his question? And would you question Picard? And Wes is like, no. Like, exactly. There you go. Why not? And Wes is like, I don't know, really. So Wes is left wondering why, and from that conversation, nobody actually does question Picard. maybe we should question authority. I don't know. Why does everybody agree with him? But
I love that whole what would Picard do? It's like the whole what would Jesus do, you know, but what would Picard
What would
do,
Picard do?
as your major idol? What would Picard
Yeah.
do? And I also like that before they entered into this conversation, Riker excused himself by saying, "Sorry, family emergency." I thought that was so sweet.
It's sweet. Yeah. It's not the sort of thing you usually would say to your prospective conquest, because it's just like, you know, she's now thinking.
But it echoed.
She's now thinking he has a son.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. I was just thinking how it echoed earlier when Pulaski was sort of challenging, you know, whether are we just, you know, is this us just bringing up this young man into adulthood sort of thing? Like, are we his collective parents? So it was kind of echoing that sentiment, really. But yeah, I hadn't really thought about the impact it might have on his date.
Yeah, Joel asks himself, what would Kirk do? That's a better question.
Ah, WWKD. And also the last three letters is like wicked.
It is WKD. What would Kirk do? Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah. Have we got answers in yet? Mickey.
I think we have answers.
Stuplum's gone with Adam and Eve. So it was.
What would Monty do? I think Smiley is saying.
Oh.
WWMD. Although it could be what would Maz do, but it's probably what would Monty Band do.
What would Monty do? He'd say, "Ask your mum." That's what he'd say. All right, G Stars. He's off for dinner. Well, have a lovely evening, Mr. G Star.
Bye, G.
And we will see you next time. The last G Star episode was great, by the way. Thumbs up. Very interesting. Another take on the Bigfoot phenomenon. Bigfoots. Yeah, Bigfoots.
We liked the big feet.
We do like the big feet.
Big feet. That's completely useless. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was Allens and Hildebrandt. So Mickey got that right. G-Star got it half right. Karen, Allens, and Hilda didn't quite get the whole thing. And Adam and Eve, no. So yes, only Mickey got that one right. 450 points. So that rockets Mickey into the lead.
It does indeed. Only by a little bit. Karen's still on 150, so Mickey's gone 50 points into the lead, with G-Star now having exited on 100 and Stuplum with 50.
Well, it's still all to play for. So, Wes, in the end, talking to Riker, he does decide that he's going to get Davies to run the icogram. And just then, as he's left and he's decided what to do, Riker gets a call from Picard to go meet him and the rest of the senior crew in his quarters. So he has to end up leaving his date alone and 10 forward. So she's like, foiled again. Wes orders Davies to run the test, and Davies like, you got it, boss, and just gets on with it. And Wes is like, wow, what was I worrying about? That was easy. In Picard's quarters. Yeah, it's good. It was good to see Wes, we got a... Yeah, so here we are. So we're in Picard's quarters, and the senior staff are discussing Data's new friend and the predicament he's kind of got him into. Worf thinks that the Prime Directive is absolute, so there is no discussion to be had. But the Doctor calls that kind of rigidity cowardly, which causes Picard to stare, and he looks like he has a minor panic that this discussion might escalate into an actual conflict. He's like, well, hang on a minute. And And they go around the houses. You might have some notes on this. They go around the houses with the pros and cons, and whether it should be left to fate for them to be destroyed, or whether fate has brought them there to save them, among other such things. And once again, through the whole discussion, it's Data that ends up sounding more human than the others by pointing out that these people are not for a philosophical debate. They are an actual people. You know, he puts like a human face on it.
Human spin on it.
Yeah.
I don't have much commentary about the actual debate. I do have a perspective around, the fact that Pulaski, she has always kind of put Data in a light of being, less than human or whatever, that she seems to have had this sort of thing about Data that he's just a machine. And now this is the first time she seems to have done a bit of a 180, and now she's a staunch proponent for the fact that because I think Worf says something like, "Oh, it's only Data's feelings" or something, and she was like, "What? Data's feelings aren't as valid as anybody else's feelings?" So it's just really odd that she's done this kind of 180 on her opinion of Data, or at least in what she's stating about him. But at the same time, it's like she's been needling Data all this time about being less than human, right? Which is probably his biggest paranoia or his biggest trigger point. And now she's needling Worf by calling him a coward. It's like, she's such an antagonist.
She just loves conflict, doesn't she?
Oh, she's just asking to she's spawning for a rumble, basically. She just has a different target this time. So fine, Data isn't in her crosshairs, but she's still displaying the same kind of negative behavioral traits, if you ask me, just towards somebody else.
Yeah, she's just picking on someone else now.
And the only other things I noticed was Geordie goes up to the buffet table behind them and kind of helps himself to some food and drink. I just thought that was a really interesting, natural thing to do that you don't often see in these sorts of meetings on these sorts of episodes. I thought that was quite cool as a little bit of extra interest. And also it was just an additional thing. But Picard, when they start saying... kind of giving arguments for and against, he calls one of them sophistry, which is supposed to sort of denote like a false argument, given even if it's got an intellectual basis, it's to still being false. And this comes from a whole history thing about the word sophist, and they were people who were intellectuals who used to get paid for giving intellectual stuff, and this dates back to 500 BC, the sophists. So the stem of the word is just super interesting. It's way too much to go into right now, but worth looking into.
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I guess the buffet thing there is just back in the day, if we had developers coming in on overtime of an evening to get something done or something, the bosses would lay on some pizza or something,
This is it. I've had lunchtime meetings before. Well, they'll put snacks out and stuff, but you just in Star Trek, you never really see anybody actually helping themselves to buffet. It just doesn't happen in a meeting. And I thought that was really kind of a cool little quirky thing.
Yeah, it's interesting that they meet in his quarters as well to make it sort of semi-unofficial. They don't want this going on in the observation lounge, because that might become an official minuted meeting if it's in the observation lounge. But in Picard's quarters, it's a little bit more off the record.
Well, this is a philosophical debate, right? So they used to call these, back whenever, they used to call these a salon, where, you'd invite people around to your house, and you would have these, I think it was a French thing, wasn't it? But you used to have these philosophical debates about stuff, with people you respected and stuff. So it's kind of like that sort of a setup. It's that setup to let's be open, let's discuss this as peers and as friends, not as maybe a rigorous kind of, rank system.
Yeah. Karen's come up with an idea for a dog's name of Porthos in honor of Captain Archer's beagle. See, I even knew it was a beagle. Joe likes that idea. which is pretty good. Also, it's quite funny because that's obviously in reference to the Musketeers, the Three Musketeers. And when I was a kid, there was a cartoon called Dogtanian and
D'Artagnan, yeah.
Dogtanian and the Three Muskehounds.
Yeah, and they were.
And a lot of them were
Thing is, if you get a Porthos, won't you feel obliged to get like an Aramis? And you're going to end up with 3, you know it.
It was Aramis, Porthos, and D'Artagnan. What was the other one?
I
I
can't remember.
Yeah, but
Chat.
But a lot of the dogs in that, the aristocratic ones, they were
They're
all
spaniels.
like spaniels.
Yeah, yeah.
With their big floppy ears.
I remember.
Yeah.
That was a great cartoon. I loved that.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. D'Artagnan, yeah. And memories. Yeah, so
Athos. Porthos, Athos, and Aramis, right?
yes.
Sorry.
That's it.
Came
Well
to me.
done.
Carry on.
Athos and Aramis, yes. So basically, Data points out maybe we could use the transmission could be construed as a plea for help, but that as a concept is rejected, and Picard orders him to sever contact with Dramer 4. So he goes to the console next to Picard there to his left, and before severing the contact, opens up the comms channel, and we hear the little girl plead that she's scared and wants to know where Data is.
Help me, Data! Help me!
In front of the entire command crew. And then since they heard that plea for help, they could no longer turn their backs. So I like to think that Data did that on purpose. You know, they don't play it like he did, but I like to think that he did. He was like, right, okay, so you're gonna turn me down, turn your back on this.
It was a goof / incorrectly regarded as a goof potential, where people are saying, oh, you know, he went against orders by doing that. And then other people are like, no, he was clearly about to switch it off. He only stopped because Picard said not to. So he wasn't disobeying orders. But the thing is like Picard literally moments before said that the Prime Directive was there to stop them from making decisions based on emotion. And then they hear a voice and all of their hearts melt.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, then. I mean, like, literally, you just said that's exactly what the Prime Directive is there
to shield
prevent.
you against. Yeah.
But you do it anyway. So what
anyway.
is the point? What is literally the point?
They always do it. Well, not always. There are some times where they really stick to it, but
well, there have been 2 or 3 previous occasions where Picard has stuck to it. I probably have something here noted, but there was like hang on, encounter at Far Point, Bandai City was being destroyed and people screaming for aid, and he calmly sat and discussed his options. And then in Symbiosis, when one of the Onarans begged for help, he refused, citing the Prime Directive. So he's done it before several times, but this time, nah, let's just whatever. Let's just do it.
Just do it
for shits and giggles.
Yeah. That's all it. Anyway, that was the end of Act 3. So we've got question time. Yeah.
Question time.
You can tell I might have felt a bit sorry for you on the last question because this one might be a little easier. The main bar on the Enterprise is located on which deck? The main bar on the Enterprise is located on which deck?
I don't know if that's a trick question.
No, it's not. It's not a trick question.
Wow. How many points is this worth?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we might just be at, what was the last one worth? Well, we've had 50,
it was what, 150?
150. So this one would be 200. 200 points for
yes.
this one?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, 200 points for this one. Joel was quick in there with an answer.
I Don't think there are any points for speed, but well done anyway.
Well done. Yeah. Not 1 million points.
I managed to type wrong.
Smiler's put the question in. So for 1 million points.
Like it.
Yeah.
You've always got to read Smiler's comments. They always contain like excellent comedy value.
Yeah.
I realised my lighting's really weird today. I forgot to put my ring light on.
Oh, there you
And it's changing. It looked different earlier, and I'm realising I'm getting sort of slightly darker, and it's because the sun's going down because my ring light's not on.
Well, I still look green.
I look a bit spooky, ethereal.
Yeah, I still look green from the light from the kitchen. Okay, so Act 4, whilst we're getting some answers in. The Enterprise. Or was what you were laughing
Our
at?
dog will be Lemon. Data is Lemon. Could our dog be called Data?
He's not. He's kind of lemon, I suppose. He's kind of silvery lemon. Oh yeah, that's another option. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise has arrived at Dreamer 4, and in the observation lounge, Wesley's team are unveiling how they have discovered the cause of the geological anomalies. It turns out that Wesley's ecograph has discovered the largest deposits of dilithium that's been ever discovered on any planet. And the dilithium is structured in such a way that's destabilizing the planets. Picard asks them what they can do about it, and Wes says they still need time to work on a fix. When they leave, Riker reports that Data is monitoring the situation on the planet's condition, but the outlook is grim. Data has gone ahead and calculated the safest place on the planet that the survivors could go. And you can guess why he has done that, because he wants to communicate that data to the little girl. So Picard indicates to Riker that they are about neck deep in shit, but gives Data permission to continue anyway. Yeah. Data tries to communicate with Sajenka, but can no longer reach her. So goes to Picard in his ready room to request permission to beam down. Picard thinks this is going to make a bad problem even worse, and Data tries to argue, well, look, there's no difference really in communicating over comms than communicating in person. And Riker's like, really, Data?
Such a weak argument.
That he didn't get past Riker in a second.
But somehow it won over Picard.
Picard's like, oh, right.
In for a penny.
In for a pound.
In for a pound.
Yeah. So orders Riker to handle the transporter. On leaving, Riker turns and asks Picard, where are they now on the shitter-meter? And Picard gestures that they're now over their head.
I wish they had put it that way. That would have been so freaking funny.
Yeah. In the transporter room, Riker gives O'Brien permission to take a nap and beams Data down. He was going to stay there to beam him back up, but he gets called back to the bridge. But O'Brien's like, luckily I've just woke up, and takes over the controls. Have we got answers through?
I would imagine so.
Joel with 10, Mickey with 10, Karen with 4, 9, and Stu Plum with 4. And the answer is surprisingly, it's 10.
10. Yay. That's what I thought it was. I was like, is this a trick question?
Yeah. It's 10 forward because it's at the forward section of deck 10.
So it's Joel and Mickey, right?
Joel and Mickey, 200
Joel,
points apiece.
I've got to make a whole new column for you. 200. That makes you... Right, okay. So we're doing scores.
Yep, go on. What are we at now?
Stu Plum is still on 50. G-Star 100. Karen is 150. Joel has rocketed into second place, only having answered one question. think.
he only answer
With
one?
200 points, and Mickey is on 400 points.
Oh, yeah.
He might have answered 2 but got 1 wrong, but that's certainly the only one he's got any points for. So.
Oh, yeah. I think yes. So, anyway, congratulations. On the planet, Data finds that they have already left this for the safe zone, and her home is now empty. However, as he looks around for Zajenka, she actually runs in and behind him, and she goes to her transmitter. He says her name, and she turns around. She goes to run out, all scared, but he's like, "It's okay, it's me, it's Data." And it turns out she tells him that they've all left for a safer place, but she snuck away because they told her to leave her transmitter behind, and she didn't want to leave her transmitter and leave her contact with Data, so she snuck back. So he decides it's not safe there for her, and so he requests O'Brien to beam them both up. That's the end of Act 4, so we've got question time. He keeps seeming to come around every 2 seconds.
Fighting!
um,
This is the penultimate, is it?
Penultimate question. Yep, this is the penultimate
This one's
question.
250 points, is it?
Yeah, so
Crikey.
250 points for this one. So they just beamed up. But how many individual pads does an Enterprise transporter have? So a single transporter can transport multiple people on little individual sections. But how many individual sections, so how many people, can one transporter beam up or down?
I have a guess for that, but I definitely don't know for sure. Let's see.
Yeah.
I like these questions because it's like, it's just general observability of things that you might have seen a lot, like how the bridge is set up and how the transport is set up and stuff. Which you'd think for somebody like me who's watched it loads of times over all these years, I'd know it. But unfortunately, I think the brain just filters out some of that,
Yeah.
some of that detail, unless you're specifically looking at it.
I did know, but I did have to go back to references and double check that I wasn't, because,
It's a good question. I
could have
like it.
misremembered. So I did double check. How many individual pads does a single transporter have on the USS Enterprise? Act 5.
Final act.
Yeah, final act. Data takes Zajenka to the bridge, much to the delight of Picard, who turns to Riker and says, "He's brought a child to my bridge, onto my ship, and on my bridge." Which I thought was quite funny.
He also is refusing to look at it.
I know, it's just like looking at Riker, isn't
What
he?
is it? But also what's he called? O'Brien was a bit weird. Like he was like, "What? You're taking that to the bridge?"
I know, in front of
how
the
would any
child.
Starfleet officer would react to a child alien by calling it that? And
thing.
you've never seen Alien before.
Yeah.
You don't know. It just seemed a really odd reception.
Yeah. It's quite. It was quite funny. Yeah. And that was a bit of a weird conversation between O'Brien and Data as well, because he kind of asks Data, "Are you taking that to the bridge?" And Data kind of answers in the negative. Because he answers the girl rather than answers O'Brien.
Yeah.
Because she says, "I don't want to be left alone." So he's like, "Absolutely not." But he's like he's talking to O'Brien. So O'Brien says, "Are you taking her to the bridge?" And Data says,
I noticed
"Absolutely not."
Also.
So I'm like, "Are you taking her to the bridge?" I don't know.
Brian's left confused, but that's fine because he thought she was of that. So he was already confused.
Yeah. Yes. So it's kind of like that thing, where a child does something really naughty and one of the parents is so annoyed. Like the mum's so annoyed, she looks at the dad and is like, "Look what your child's done." Picard to Riker on the bridge,
Stu Plum has prompted pictures,
Oh,
which is a good one
pictures.
because, yes, it is
Oh, there you go.
now.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time. Thank you, Stu Plum.
Well done. Yeah. No clues on there. Oh, we got answers, and we have answers in, so we could probably
We have
go
answers. I would
before
say
getting
that
into it.
most people have guessed the same as my guess.
What would you have said then, Mazma Bob?
I would have said 7, just because it feels geometrically like if you've got, a circle, that you'd have 6 things around a thing in the middle, but I don't know. It's a guess.
There are 6 sections around one in the middle. The middle being a transporter pad as well for larger pieces of cargo.
7 is right.
So yes, 7 is correct. There are 7 individual pads.
Nice.
So what was that? Was that 200?
There's lots of calculations here.
How many was that? Was that 250?
250 for this one.
Yeah. 250. We're just giving away all the points today.
I can't even see what names I've written down. So G-Star's out of it. Let's just cross that out.
He's gone. He's out of here.
Right. So I know Mickey's on 650. He's definitely in the lead. Joel's on 450. I think he's definitely in second place. Stu Plum is now on 300 and has actually catapulted past Karen, who is still on 250. Obviously, high scoring rounds all round: 250, 300, 450, 650.
Yeah.
And that's the order.
That's the order. Right.
I'm getting more spooky looking as it gets darker.
Yes, pretty cool. I like it. It's a good look. It really shows the blue in your halo.
I can use my phone totally.
It's all right. You just look kind of like maybe you were touched by an angel or something, and you've got like
it should be green. I could be like a Borg in its recharge station.
Yes. So Picard's so angry he can't even look at Data, and he orders Data to take his station, and for Troy to escort Sozanka to the sick bay. But Sozanka doesn't want to leave Data, so he ends up taking his station with her in tow, and tells her that he is going to need his hand to do the work. They fire Wesley's team's torpedo at the planet, and the resonators fix the tectonic problems. Picard's like, right, now that's done, escort her down to sickbay. And as Data walking her to sickbay, he contacts the doctor and tells her to wipe her memory. In sickbay, she likes the doctor's Elanin singing stone, Elanin singer stone, that makes a noise when you pick it up. Except for Data. It doesn't work for Data because he's an android. The doctor runs some scans on the girl and wipes her memory. Data returns her to the planet safe and sound, but leaves her with the singing stone. He takes one last look out the little invisible door thing and sees the planet is now all nice and quiet. And he beams back to the Enterprise. Riker offers Wes a seat in the command chair, but Wes declines and says he has a long way to go before earning that privilege, and asks if it gets easier in command, and Riker says nope. Data visits Picard in his ready room and apologizes. Picard says no need, no problem, mate. Data says that she won't remember me, but I will remember her. And Picard tells him that memories and regrets are a part of friendships, and that will bring you a step closer to your humanity. And that was the end of the episode. So
beautiful.
Pretty quick summary of the end, but that's basically how it goes.
And do you have an end of episode question time?
See if there's I think that's probably the last picture there. Yeah, of Data apologizing to Picard. And very simply, quite a simple question for is it 300 now or 350, 300?
It is 300 points. So is this a timed one whereby only the first person who answers can get it? Or is this anyone can get it question? Because usually G-Star does the end one as a timed one.
I don't know. What do you reckon? Anyone can get it.
I don't know.
But it's
Depends on how difficult it is.
It's up to people. They want to. So who's going to? Yeah. Should we just make it the first person, because else people just
First person.
first person.
If it was first person, theoretically, at least one person could beat Mickey if they got in there first.
Right.
But we probably know who's going to win, as they win most weeks.
We know. we already know the answer to this question. Yeah. But I'm going to ask my question anyway. So Riker.
Fingers on buzzers.
Yeah. Riker offers Wes one of the command chairs. But which command chair does he offer? Who is the person that usually sits in that command chair? So the question is,
have specific designations?
Well,
interesting.
Yeah, usually. Who usually sits in the command chair that Riker
We have an answer from Mickey
Wesley?
already. We have 2 answers already.
So yeah, that was the last question.
Whose was it then? Have we got any answers right yet, or shall we wait?
Karen, do you want to? Oh well, yeah. I suppose,
Pitch in.
you could offer a guess. Stu Plum, Stu Plum
Plum's
right?
had a pop.
Yeah. Has Karen had a pop? No, Karen hasn't had a pop. Yeah.
I'm guessing you're all wrong then, so chance for a re-guess.
No, well, Mickey is phonetically not in spelling correct, but in because I think.
Oh yeah.
Troy,
I don't think spelling matters.
No, spelling doesn't matter. But yes, it's Deanna Troi. It's the left-hand chair or the right-hand chair if you're looking at it. As you're looking at it. Yeah, Deanna Troi's chair.
Nice. Well done.
So yes,
950 points for the Mickey. 100 for G-Star, but he dropped out early, obviously. 450 for Joel in second place. 300 for Stu Plum and 250 for Karen. Thank you, everybody.
Well done, Mickey, for once again owning the day. I'll just put that on your season 2.
Oh, G-Star should have told us also his score for this episode, because we won't be able to have full stats for the score yet, but at least we can show potential scores. Scores in chat, by the way. Anybody what they want to give this episode out of 10?
Yeah, scores. Put your scores on your doors. I better get my little paddle ready.
The only other bits that I had around my sort of trivia and such were apparently in 10 Forward, there was all this continuity stuff with a particular glass. It was like handle out, handle in, handle out. The way it was picking up was handle in, handle out. I really didn't notice any of it myself, but apparently that was a bit of a thing.
Right.
There was some stuff around Sarjenka's, makeup. Like when she was in sick bay, it was really obvious, prosthetics attached to her face. And when she holds her hands up, it's like, it's so obviously like finger extensions and stuff.
That sort of thing
Pretty
gets
poor.
worse with the HD Blu-ray conversion that you watch on Netflix now, because you can really see like the seams and the rubber and the it just that element, whilst it was great for its time, hasn't aged particularly well.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that I noticed that before, even with the low def. But I wish I'd had more time earlier when watching this, because there's a really major thing which neither of us mentioned, and I feel a little bit ashamed, but when Wesley goes to 10 Forward to seek advice from Riker, did you notice what he did?
No. Oh my God! I didn't even mention it, did I? How could I not mention that? Yes, of course.
I know.
Riker did pull off the Riker maneuver.
More than that, though, Wes sits down and performs what is the Riker maneuver, and then Riker comes along and does the Riker maneuver. So, like, Wes is basically emulating him.
He doesn't. Wes pulls off the Riker maneuver.
Apparently so. I must say, because I was kind of, making notes while I was, doing stuff earlier. Like I didn't see it. I didn't encapsulate it myself, but apparently so. There was
What do you think?
a double Riker maneuver.
Sorry, I am now just quickly pulling up.
You're just gonna check the facts.
I am. I can't quite.
What do you?
Oh,
He would
shush.
not have injured you.
I need the
The record-
right episode.
And the other thing that I didn't catch as well was apparently this was the first episode where Picard actually drinks an Earl Grey. Do you remember in the previous one we said
Oh,
he
yeah.
ordered an Earl Grey hot, but it came out with some sort of plant or something?
Yeah.
This is the first one where he actually drinks an Earl Grey hot.
Oh, he
And that's
does.
it. That's all I have.
You're right. Wes pulls off a Riker maneuver on the chair in the background. It's quite in the background because you're actually focusing on Riker
That's probably why I
grabbing a
didn't
drink
notice
from the
it.
but-
And telling the lady where he was off on his family. Yeah. So I was focused on Riker instead of Wes, but yeah, that's a cool thing to note.
Did anyone else see the creepy dude in the bar beside Riker?
I
Wesley.
didn't. Yeah. Yeah, I think Wesley comes across quite well in this episode, actually. He's in the first series, he was really annoying and arrogant. He's so much more humble now and he's growing. I think his acting is better. I just think he's just all round, a more likable character in season 2 than season 1.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, well, thanks for pointing that out. Watching Wesley do a Riker maneuver in 10 forward, that's made my day.
Excellent. I know you got a bit of a thing for the Riker maneuver.
I do like spot it, and I did spot Riker's, but I did not actually see. I didn't see Wesley do it. So
We've got a couple of scores in chat. Do
Maz
you want to
and
bring up
Bob.
the average scores and such like, and we do
Yeah.
a 3, 2, 1?
I will stop sharing that. Share the other one.
Oh no, I'm big. I don't want to be big.
There you go, and we can
Hey, I'm
see
small
here.
again.
We can see here that Mickey, you're now on 10 wins for the season. So congratulations to you, sir. You're doing really well. Yeah. So that may be making it a little too small to see. Yes. So, what are you going to give it, Maz McBob? 3, 2. Have you chosen the number? Have you chosen the number?
What, are you trying to put things in my head, are you?
No, I was just checking you've actually chosen something.
I have chosen something. I'm a half like between 2, but I think I'll stick with what I got.
Right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I've gone
nearly
high.
up it to 5.
I've gone high today. I don't know. I'm just having another one of those episodes which I just
Enjoyed more.
really
watching
enjoyed
back.
for some reason. I just wasn't looking forward to it. But once again, it's some of these episodes that I thought were going to be a bore fest and I wasn't going to like.
I think it helps
I'm
if
really
you're not
enjoying.
looking forward to it, because I think your expectations are so low that when you get pleasantly surprised, you're like, oh wow, actually. So I think that helps with kind of a positive outlook.
Oh, yes. Maz is too harsh, reckons Joel.
There were just there were things about it that kind of just really annoyed me throughout. The predominant one being the fundamental disregard for the Prime Directive, but
Yeah.
and they were just so sort of, I don't know, many weird character errors and just, I don't know. And I didn't find it particularly exciting either. I mean, I know there was like a doom of a planet, but it wasn't like you could really feel that. You couldn't feel the excitement of that at all. It was all sort of filtered through Data's stoicness, I guess. But yeah, just didn't massively excite me. But sorry about that. Maybe G-Star's vote when he comes in with his score, maybe that will uplift it overall.
I don't
because
think,
it's still not an average yet.
as he gave the Icarus factor last week a 3, I don't think this episode's going to fare well. I don't think. But you never know. We never know. We'll find out next week from G-Star. But yeah, I like these interpersonal ones on the Enterprise, which shows some of the inner workings of like the Enterprise crew, like seeing a team come together, like a science team to solve a problem in the lab. Oh, forgot to mention that as well. The lab being another redress of the Battle Bridge set that we forgot to mention. I forgot to mention that bit.
And I must say, actually, there were quite a lot of extras in this episode, like named speaking part extras, in terms of like Wesley's crew. So that was quite an interesting feature as well. You don't normally get quite so many, named characters in an episode. And I get my score might be harsh. I was between 4 and 5. I was like 4 or 5, 4 or 5. But I pitched for 4. So yeah, sorry, harsh. Craig Rebel Forward once again.
Yeah, well, you're just taking up the Gaz, the G Star dynamic in the episode. But I did quite like, I quite liked how Data was like showing his humanity and kind of showing how he's grown from the first episode. Being more human than humans, and I kind of like it when the crew, like Picard and Riker, go a bit rogue on like the rules and just go, sod it. Because I like to be a rebel at heart, so I quite like it when they go a bit off piste. But you're right, there are a lot of issues with it, like character traits, like Worf. And
there's quite a lot of comedy value as well. The whole we're.
Yeah.
There were things like that were quite entertaining as well.
Yeah. It's kind of weird though, isn't it? When Data's obviously like over his head and just, in the ready room, just trying to get Picard to sign up on something ridiculous. And Riker basically calls him out and goes,
"That's crazy.
Even you must know that's crazy, what you're saying right now." And Picard's just like, "Oh, all right."
All right.
You convinced me.
I mean, it is funny, but also it's like mental. Like that wouldn't actually happen.
No. It is quite funny. Yes. So there we go. That's another one that, for me, was expecting a low light, but actually it was okay. It was all right. I enjoyed it. I do find her fingers are freaky.
They were pretty freaky.
Having for some reason, just seeing a little girl like that with like 4-inch long little fingers, just.
It's the stuff of nightmares.
It is the stuff of nightmares. Just seeing her come at you like that with her long like spidery fingers. You're just like, don't touch me. Like, she'd like grip your arm and you'd be like, ugh. So little fingers tap along your arm. You're like, no, get off. You can see why Data, when he was at his concert,
it's kind of spidery.
Yeah. He's like, let me go.
Reminds you of an insect.
Let me go. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys. So what we got? We got 6s. I think 6s were the main gist, weren't they? Across the board in chat. People were saying though, I think everybody's been quite surprised about this episode being quite. Nikki thought it was quite good. Yeah, they're liking.
But agrees that she was a little creep, right?
Yeah, she was a little creep, wasn't she? And she kind of looked. I think she was supposed to look sparkly, but it made her end up looking sweaty. And she had that sort of matted hair and sweaty look with those like spidey fingers. Yeah,
it's not a good look.
It was alienish, though, I suppose. So yeah. You got to give them that for effort.
Duplum said, "Wonder if she plays the piano."
Yeah.
She'd certainly be good at it. I mean, I managed to play with super short fingers, but this is a disadvantage, people. The longer the fingers, the better, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, on our scoreboard there at the moment, it is down in last place. I'm imagining G-Star would probably give it a 4 as well. So that will put it around the middle.
I don't know about that. It might be higher.
You think so?
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
He was quite happy he was missing this one. So we'll see. We'll see. So we are going to be on our summer break now for the next 2 weeks. So we'll be back in 3 weeks' time, and we're coming back to an okay episode, an all right episode. The next episode we are going to be reviewing is a little episode called Q Who. So we've got that to look forward to in 3 weeks' time. Yeah, it's all right. There's nothing special happens in it. What?
Just this little character with a Q in the name.
Yeah. And bringing the Enterprise to a race called the... oh, spoilers.
Mickey doesn't know. Always
doesn't know.
remember
Oh, yeah.
that Mickey is new to all of this.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know what's coming.
Be exciting.
But yeah, big episode, next episode, Q Who. We'll be looking forward
And
to
then
it.
another week break, isn't it? And then we're back again for good after that.
I think we might have 2 episodes and then a week break, I think.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think we're
I
coming
don't
back.
know.
Yeah, I think we're coming back for 2 episodes and then another week break. So yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the case. I don't know. You got me doubting my
Work
own.
out. I don't know.
Might be
That's
just
fine.
one.
Either way. It's
Anyway.
fine. But Q-Who, 3 weeks' time.
3 weeks' time, Q Who. Yeah. Obviously as well for the channel in general. Over the next 2 weeks, there won't be any Fortnite live streams or Monty Zones or TNG review shows. We are on our summer holidays, so I hope you all have. Oh, no night, Stu Plum. I hope you all have a lovely time over the next couple of weeks, and I hope you, if you're going on any summer holidays or having any time like that, then I hope you have a nice time. And here's hoping the weather keeps up, because I'm kind of thinking that possibly now, as the kids break up on Friday and we all start our summer holidays, that this lovely weather will break and it's going to rain for the next 2 weeks. But we shall see. It's just what usually happens. But fingers crossed, it'll be nice weather over the next 2 weeks.
Indeed.
Yes. So thank you to Stuplum, to Mickey, to Joel, to Karen, Smiler Rainbow, our
G-Star.
lovely wrench, to our missing co-host, Mr. G-Star, and to my lovely co-host who was here, Mazit McBob. We'll see you in 3 weeks' time.
Laters, people.
Cheers.